I am Reverend Michelle, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to our weekly gathering where our intention is to stimulate thought, create connection, and expand consciousness. We are an assembly of people who will teach each other to find the miracle of joyful living from life's circumstances to accomplish that which seems impossible. Our announcements are the same as they are each week, just a minor tweak to one of them. The box is at the back of the room. The white one is where we collect our donations. We invite you to make a contribution to support the ongoing needs of a burgeoning church. We do suggest $5. However, if money is an issue, please don't make it an issue. Your presence is vastly more important than your money. With our envelopes in there where you can write your name on them, and when we become a charitable status, we'll be able to issue receipts. We would ask that you please update your envelopes to state a first and last name, because good news, we're big enough that we have duplicate names, so we need to keep track of who's who. Thank you to Shy Rose for pointing that out.
Michelle, is it possible to donate via email money transfer?
It will be. We probably could say yes, right? And then
you could set up a PayPal account.
Yeah.
And transfers could come through PayPal.
Let's talk about that today.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a board meeting today, Kevin. That's a great question, and we will add it to the agenda. Part of the treasurer's report. Tag. It is our intention, though, to be able to collect donations online as well down the road, but we're not sure about all of the particulars. So we will get that sorted out, and we'll go from there. The green box, in my opinion, is the most important box. 3 minutes. It's getting better every time. Good morning.
And on daylight savings.
In the green box, right? Daylight savings too. Holla. The green box is where we invite you to share ideas about what you would like to discuss. If things hit your timeline, you can tag the Hummingbird Assembly in them, and we can print them and put them into the box. If you just have some questions that come to you today and you want to write them down, they're a piece of paper and pens. Please do feel free to make suggestions, because this is your assembly and I'd like it to remain relevant to you. We continue to collect awakening stories. So if you would like to submit yours, our email address is admin@hummingbirdAssembly.com. The intention is to take these stories and compile them into an ebook so that people who come to our website or to our Facebook page can download the content and maybe not feel quite so alone as they go through this process on their own. So please do feel free to share what brought you to us. And I think that's all the things. So then, let us begin with our opening intention now that they've been handed out. May I come to understand that blessings are everywhere, that my attitude will affect outcomes, and that challenges are often gifts in disguise. May I come to trust that most things can get better with time, that my instincts and gut feelings have value, and that a positive attitude makes things go smoother. May I come to see that I have many skills and talents I can use, that I am a positive influence on many people, and there are those around me who wish me well. May I come to value that today is a blessing to be enjoyed, that each person is unique and important, and that each moment of my life has meaning. For today's discussion, we will continue our digging into the universal laws, and I really feel like Barb should be leading today's discussion because this is one of her favorite things. Today we are going to be discussing the universal law of gratitude.
Thank you, Michelle.
It's my pleasure. So it's a very short statement, and it says, from the perspective of karma and the law of one, the more you give, the more you will receive. The more you assist others, the more you will assist yourself. The power of this law also works in your day-to-day life. That's what it says.
Can you read it one more time, just because I was thinking about the one sentence and then you went on?
Of course.
Of course, so please.
From the perspective of karma and the law of one, the more you give, the more you will receive. The more you assist others, the more you will assist yourself. The power of this law also works in your day-to-day life. And what I find interesting about this wording is that at no point does it discuss the act of giving thanks.
I hadn't thought of that till you said that.
Anybody have any comment at this point?
When you help others, and then it said it will be helping yourself, but is that part of the all is one? We are all one. So the more you help others, yes, it's helping you, but it's doing that, more connecting us together as one.
It is responding to the law of one, yes.
Seems like intention is very important. So how you give, what your intention is.
How do you get what your intention is? Is that what you said?
No, how you give.
Hmm.
To give without expecting to be given back. Because if you just do it to be given back, that's selfish, right? And that's not of a higher vibration. But if you give freely, not expecting anything back.
I think that's certainly an ideal.
Well, I remember in a book club that I belonged to, it came up about helping the from Syria. And the woman said something about their church was helping the refugees. And she kind of got up, she said something and she kind of got upset about, well, they should be grateful. And I kind of chimed in and said, wait a minute, if you're giving, shouldn't you be giving freely? If you give and expect something back, you're trying to control how they respond.
Totally.
And then she kind of got mad at me. And then she kind of came back the next week and she was friendly. So I guess she went away maybe and discussed.
Well, we need those triggers, right? So that we can identify what's going on and allow for our spirit's growth. Of course
she
not.
She got quite upset.
That was never your intent.
That was not my intention. Yeah. And then I stewed about it for a week saying, I made her upset. What should I do? And he said, don't take it personally. And like
exactly.
This. And then I went back and as I said, and then she was really friendly and sat down beside me and went, well, I guess she got over being annoyed with me.
Or she figured it out.
Yeah. And but I just thought, no one ever says, well, I don't know. I was going to say our ego gets involved, I guess, when you want to give and expect something back, that's your ego giving, not your kind of soul.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
The other attitude is a lot of people give gifts to people, but they expect it to be used in a certain way. So you give a gift to someone and they don't like it or don't use it, or they find somebody else that can use it more than they do, and they pass it on, and then people get their nose out of joint because they expected them to enjoy that gift.
I love that you brought this up, Kaylee, because I was chatting with somebody this week who is in the process of doing the ultimate act of giving, becoming a live donor for someone. Yes. And she was discussing how she went about choosing who she was going to live donate to, and saying that because it's her kidney, she wasn't going to give it to someone who wasn't going to respect it. And she was deciding based on a series of criteria that mattered to her who deserved to have her kidney. So it's not the same as what you're discussing in terms of passing it on to someone else. But when you choose to be a live donor of a kidney, how do you do that in a selfless way? Like she was saying, I'm not going to give it to that person because they drink. I'm not going to give it to that person because they don't exercise. I'm not going to give it to that person because of whatever their point was. She's going to give it to that person who goes to church all the time and is full of love and goes to the gym and is really fit.
So that person that's really fit, you sometimes wonder what they're doing in their life to make their kidney go. And the other people that have issues, maybe they're doing that as self-medication. And when they get a new kidney, they'll be fine and they will respect that kidney and go on forward.
Right.
So I think coming from a perspective of being totally selfless and guided by love and God or source, whatever your definition is to just trust and let the system work. Let the doctors make the decisions, let the person make their decisions, and just trust and work out.
I just thought it was really interesting. And then listening to her, and then she realized that she was talking to me. And so I was like listening and considering all of this other stuff. And then she was feeling like she had to backpedal. I'm like, no. I am, as always, I am never in judgment of you. I'm fascinated by the process. Right? Yeah, I don't know. I think that's interesting. Anyway, I'm not sure that...
So did you ask her what would happen if she gave the kidney and that person
I didn't. I was,
The perfect,
I didn't. I was just listening. And she was recognizing that she was triggering herself, which, you know, we know that the trigger is where we find our expansion or our retraction. We decide to stay mired in our muck. But it was very, very fascinating to see her face. Like, it's like that Plinko chip, you know, chung, 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 chung. Oh. And I felt badly for her, but at the same time, I was really glad that she was having this moment. And I'm sure it won't change her mind because she's already so far into the process with this person that she cannot easily change her mind. But I don't know. It was just an interesting moment. Anyway, I'm not sure this has much to do with gratitude. But the more you give, the more you will receive. And so do you think that we have to be giving from a place of unconditional to receive?
I think if you're giving it from a place of lack, then it's hard to actually receive anything.
What do you mean by a place of lack?
If you're sort of, well, nobody would do this for me, so I'm going to give it to you, expecting something in return, may not get that or anything. It's not really personal. It's not
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm explaining it properly, but
No, I think that's reasonable. Yeah. What are you going to say, Jacqueline? Good morning.
I just want to say, because I've been a volunteer, for example, for over 30 years. I help out in the community with a number of things, and I'm a volunteer, and I take in stray people and stray animals, and I give change to people that have passed out on the street. And I do that because that's what I do.
Right.
And then you can't expect, I understand, a lot of that stuff to come back to you, and that's not the expectation, but sometimes, and I partially hear that, but well, you know, when something goes wrong in your life, and you go, why is this happening to me? I'm such a good person. So is that where it comes back to, you know, oh, you're not supposed to think that way? That you've done all these things compassionately and kindly out of.
So I would say, I don't think you should ever say to yourself, I shouldn't. You should not should on yourself. I would say if you recognize that you're doing that, like, oh, well, what am I telling myself here would be my question. Not I'm doing this wrong. It would be, what am I telling myself here? If I'm having this reaction, that someone hasn't done this for me, a poor me reaction, what am I telling myself? What in me is being triggered so that I can expand from this moment? Do you understand? So let's say that you were always keeping in your pockets gift cards, and when you walked in downtown Toronto and you saw homeless people, you gave out $5 gift cards to McDonald's or Tim Hortons or whatever, and you were doing that and just giving them out. Let's say that you were doing that, and then one day you needed a coffee and you had no money because something happened, you left your wallet in the car, whatever. You wound up somewhere and you needed to get something to eat, and where's mine? Where's mine? Give it back to me now.
So I have the attitude of, like, I laugh when I hear people saying that they get their Tim Hortons paid for, and I'm laughing because I'm going, oh, that's never happened to me. But I'm not saying that in a negative way, because I do believe things come back to us in a different way.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And the thing is that we can't control the timeline, right? So I'm in a moment of need right now. Somebody show up with my gift card right now. That is the exact opposite of flow. So when you have that moment of, hey, how come nobody's meeting my need? My question would be, oh, well, what in me is feeling that lack right now? I would want to explore my sense of entitlement in that situation. Like from a spiritual perspective, right? The human Michelle would probably just be like, no, dude, I'm hungry. Buy me a sandwich. But from a spiritual standpoint, the response I would encourage myself to take is, what need in me needs to be serviced? And that answer always comes back to, what can I do for me in this moment?
I think that when we help people unconditionally and we do things, just we act upon it. Someone's fell down, someone broken down on the side of the road, somebody needs something to eat, whatever. We act compassionately quickly, not thinking of, okay, are they going to give this back to me?
Right.
So at times things come back when you least expect it. And then I say in my head, going, oh my gosh, this is a way of it coming back where months, what it could be, you don't even think. So
Sure.
when someone does something nice to you, I look at that as going, oh my gosh, I would never think that this person, because I don't know them or I've never done anything to help them.
Yeah, yeah.
This is where someone has come and either offered assistance in some way.
And this is a moment where you apply the law of gratitude by saying thank you.
Yes, and I say that, and I look at things and people go, "Oh, you in there?" Like some people are so negative about it because I look at more of that's a positive. And I said, "Oh, I was so blessed that that person took the time and spoke to me." And I guess you have to be in that place too.
You do have to be in that place.
And I am so appreciative of the gratitude. So
yeah,
that's what I'm just trying to understand. Does it block if you sometimes have a negative moment and say, "Why is this happening to me when I'm such a good person?" I heard before that you just need to be in the attitude of gratitude about 60% of the time for it to work. So you don't need to be 100%. It just has to be more than the other.
I was going to say something similar. I don't think gratitude is an act. It's a state of being.
oh, that's interesting. Let's
Having
explore
gone
that.
through, like, my
Did everybody
gratitude-
hear that? That it's a state of being.
Absolutely.
See, I told you you should moderate. Okay, so tell us about this state
Well,
of
it's
being.
just, I mean, I'm thinking in terms of what I've gone through with my gratitude challenge. The first year was pretty life-changing for me. The second one is not as profound because I think I do tend to live more in a state of gratitude, maybe more than 60% of the time. I don't know. Like, I'm just so grateful all the time for everything in my life. But it's not an act. It's not me coming to you and saying, "Oh, I love you, Michelle. I want to give you this." It's not somebody coming to me and giving me this. It's just, for me, it's a state of being. It's feeling thankful and gratitude for Hummingbird, for the fucking air I'm breathing. It's gratitude for everything. It's a state.
I wanted to say, linking back to the idea of lack, if we're not saying thank you when these moments happen to us, that means we're not receiving. We are reinforcing the state of lack.
But even that state of lack, you can get gratitude from it. There's something in it for you. A lesson. There's something. There's always something to be grateful for.
I think a lot of times we pay attention to the financial stuff or the gifts and stuff. There's a lot of gifts that come to us through attitude, behaviors, those types of things too. One time we were doing an experiment about gratitude in some of the classes I take, and the moderator told us, "I want you to keep a gratitude journal, everything that happens throughout your day, and put a money value to it if you can." So if somebody opened the door, I would think that, okay, that's, in New York, they have door openers, and that would be maybe $1 tip. So I would quantify this just for my mind to see at the end of the day. Some days I got $1,400 worth of gifts that I just would normally ignored.
Mm-hmm.
Some days I got $600 worth of gifts that I would ignore. They weren't all financial, but it was the people helping me in different attitudes, or different ways and stuff. Because whatever you focus on, you create more of. So if you turn yourself around and you start keeping in that gratitude journal, then it starts training your mind to look for those things that we usually overlook.
And the rest of it comes natural then.
Okay,
But
one second, because Nancy was...
I think, though, it has to be like, for myself, it had to, first of all, be pointed out, look at the things you should be grateful for in your life. And so I started this thing, I must have read the suggestion somewhere, in bed at night before I would go to sleep, I say, okay, what am I grateful for today? And then I would list a bunch of things. And then if I'm having a bad moment, sometimes I'll go, okay, right, like I was standing in the shower the other day and I was all wound up and I thought, what's great right now? And I thought, I've got hot and cold running water in the shower.
Right.
I've got my favorite towel. My red
That's
towel.
me and my 3 things.
I've got, and I thought, I've got shampoo, I've got soap, I've got, my toothbrush, I can get nice and clean, and, I got clean clothes to put on, and I kind of went through this thing, and I was
You got that from here, because we talk about the 3 things here.
oh, well, yeah, and
The clean panties, right?
yeah, but I was going to, the point
Yes.
I wanted to make, and I tend to talk too much, is I wanted to say what Barb said. That's a state of being for her. I'm not there yet. That's what I'm working towards. I'm just in the training to see, okay, what's good right now? What can
Yeah.
be grateful right now? That's the process I'm at. I'm aiming for what she's, the state of being grateful all the time. But I think first you have to become aware of that practice.
Yes.
I think you have to do it first as a exercise, practice, whatever, routine, till it becomes habit
Yes,
and it becomes part of you.
I would agree. Yes. And I think that's what Barb was saying, that the first time she engaged in her gratitude practice, and for those of you who don't know what Barb is talking about with her challenge, she's doing something on her social media every day to state what she is grateful for 365 days. It's 1 year of gratitude. So she did this a couple of years ago, and what she was saying was that it was difficult then because she wasn't in the state of gratitude. She was in the act of gratitude. And when she finished that year, she continued to feel grateful. And now she's doing it again and finds that she's actually just in a state of it. It's not difficult because she is there now. And I would suggest too that much like enlightenment, it's not a state we stay in. You'll have days where you come in and out and in and out. And Barb may have 478 days of state of gratitude and then one of not.
Thank you for saying that.
It's a state we flow in and out of. And you'll have hours where you feel you're totally in the state of gratitude, and then you'll be totally in the state of other.
That's the human experience.
It's totally the human experience. And that's why we're here, to experience these ups and downs, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It is like a snowball effect. When you are in that state of gratitude, it keeps rolling, right?
Mhm.
It keeps growing and building, and everything keeps building on that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, perspective gratitude. But it is ups and downs, and because I can remember when I was in that state, like originally when I first kind of realized, oh, this is what this is. I'd be driving along and the trees were just budding and it was green and it was lovely and thank you for the sun, and like it was who I was
In that moment.
in
Yeah.
that moment. And then something happens and maybe that's like a snowball too, and then you start
Yeah.
to sit and you get kind of mired in your mud.
Yeah.
But but it is, I think it is the same thing. You embody it. It's in your everything.
Some days you are it.
Yes.
I think we look at something every day, and my daughter and I did this based on something I found on the internet a few years ago, like a gratitude jar. So every night we would take something and make a note and say what we were happy for that day, what we were thankful for. Sometimes we'd read that night, sometimes we'd read it at the end of the week, and we'd switch each other's.
That's lovely.
And today it could have been the dogs, you know, how they make you feel.
Yeah.
You could be having a bad day, but you take that moment of how happy that made you feel that you
Yeah.
never get that bad feeling. So we did that for a year.
I think gratitude practices are hugely important.
And if you look at the bright side of things versus the negative, it maybe puts you in that state easier, because it's really hard when someone's in a bad place and you try to tell them, just look at the positive. I've got nothing positive. Well, there's always something.
Well, I would say
great.
sometimes when people are in a bad place, we just need to listen to them.
Just read it.
We just need to love them, because part of having an authentic experience is you're not always going to be happy.
And we can't always fix the.
You can never fix anyone but you. You can never fix anyone but you. You are the only person you have control over.
And it's your ego that wants to fix the other person anyway, isn't it?
Sure, it might be. It might be the natural helping spirit wants to fix other people.
Yeah.
It might be that you're thinking about the law of oneness, and if I can make this person better, then it's going to make me better. But ultimately, if you make you better, you make them better. The law of oneness tells you to look at the one.
And maybe it's like Kevin said, intention. What your intention
Intention
is
matters.
in reference to that other person.
Intention matters. Yeah.
Just to follow up on some things, for me, and what was written for that law of gratitude is giving is an expression of gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like we say we don't have that expectation, or that, you know, karmically, you know, things will return to us. But if we don't even consider that, and giving is our expression of gratitude, then I find myself much happier.
Mm-hmm. If giving is your expression of gratitude.
Yes. I have the ability to, you know, give a pie to a homeless person, or, you know, just be there and listen, for example.
Giving your time and attention.
Yeah.
Giving us your effort by setting up the chairs this morning. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I said, though. If you remain in that state, that comes natural.
Yes.
You want to give.
And that's a great practice that you're doing, to get to that state. And like psychologically, you change your brain.
You do change. Yeah. Only takes 21 days to change the synapses. So.
So let's see. It says, the more you give, the more you receive, and the more you assist others, the more you will assist yourself.
So for me, when I say that giving is my act of gratitude, the more I give, the more I can give.
Well, and you're conscious of the fact that you have it to give. I'm so thankful. Well, you don't think that consciously, I don't think, but you have knowledge to share, or physical, tangible things. You have it to share. I think it increases your gratitude when you're sharing.
When you acknowledge what you have.
Mm-hmm.
When you're acknowledging what you have.
Yeah.
So
I have something, so I can share
I was
this.
going to say, are you suggesting that maybe a subconscious intention of giving is I have this to give? Like it allows for that, the gratitude to have it. Oh, I have this. Let's share this.
I have a great example this week. So my training is as a veterinary technician, and lots of things come very naturally. I have a coworker who has a very sick cat, and she was asked to do it fluids, and she was very stressed. And I said, "You're on my way home. I'll just stop in, give fluids. It's not a big deal. It's 5 minutes." So I went over. It's not a big deal for me at all.
Right.
For her, it made her weak.
Right.
And she's going through end-of-life decisions. I have access to papers. And I said, you might not be receptive, but there's some information. I've sent it to you. Delete it if you're not. But if you're interested in some papers, here's some information. And if you're struggling going forward, just let me know you're on the way home. It's really not a big deal for me to stop over every third day. And I came back to my office on Friday, and there was a card on my seat because she has made the decision today to euthanize her cat. But it made the world of difference to her that I stopped and that I sent her that information. But to me, it
was minor.
That's my job. That's what I do. That's what I'm good at.
Well, that brings up an interesting.
For her, it was a life.
Sorry, can't hear you.
That brings up an interesting point, what you're good at. Didn't we just have this discussion, not everybody, maybe not everybody's good at everything.
Oh, that was in phase in. That's what you're talking about.
Not everybody is good at everything, so we can rely on each other's strengths to make our road easier, or to share what we have that we're strong at, to share with others.
For sure. And it matters for that person because somebody's supporting her through a very difficult time that a lot of people would just mock. Oh, it's a cat. Come on.
There was a card we did for it, and I'm like, what are you doing?
And your job there is to say thank you.
And I did. I sent her an email and I just said, you're amazing. I didn't mean it, but I appreciate it. I'm always here. So just reach out.
Yeah. That's the other thing, appreciation.
Yeah.
Being appreciative of so when you're accepting, showing your appreciation, or when you're, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
It's that acceptance.
Yes. And that's what I was linking back to the state of lack.
Yeah.
Right? The knee-jerk reaction of what are you doing? Come on, this is crazy. Is a lack state. And then going to the thank you so much. I didn't do this for any gain. I'm here for you. It is an act of appreciation which moves you from lack to receive.
In a different vein, a lot of times I saw something on Facebook about I'm sorry. So I'm sorry I was late. I'm sorry I did this. I'm sorry I did that. And they were saying turn it around into more of a gratitude, like thank you for waiting for me to arrive. I'm so appreciative that you took the time to wait for me, or something like that as well.
It builds people up.
Yes.
They don't even realize that they were doing it. Oh, well, you're welcome. I did wait 5 extra minutes.
Stop being Canadian.
It just made me laugh because I sent you a message. I'm like, I'm going to be 5 or 10 minutes late. I'm like, please don't do the opening without me.
Oh.
In my head, I didn't type. I sent you a message.
Okay.
I'm going to be 5 or 10 minutes late. I'm so sorry. So that's so funny. And I, in my mind, was don't start the opening intention without me. And I walk in and you start. I should have said.
I did not get the message, but I'm glad that I received the message.
My father used to say to me that I give to a fault.
Oh.
That was a long one to get over. And now I
Did you hear her? She said that she grew up with the statement, you give to a fault.
You give to what?
a fault.
Oh,
The other side of it is a lot of times we're excellent givers, but we're not that good at receiving.
Yes.
There's the whole cycle. So when they're saying
Yeah.
something like you give to a fault, that might be a blockage in the receiving aspect. So you're giving
Well,
more.
it's certainly a blockage in his receiving.
Yeah, because I was going to say, if people are saying it to you, it has little to do with you and always to do with them. And I would also say, too, that the problem there is that then you learn giving is a bad thing.
I know.
Okay, so now
And
we
then
have
you
to-
become less likely to give.
Well, it wasn't bad. I never.
I'm not saying that that happened to you.
But it could.
It
yeah,
could
for sure.
happen. Oh, it's a fault to give. Mine. Keep it. Hoarding. Mine.
I struggled with that when I was younger. 'cause my
Sorry,
father-
can't hear you.
I struggled with that when I was younger too, because my father said the same thing. He's like, you wear your heart on your sleeve. You're going to constantly keep getting hurt by these people. Because I would go to him for advice about how someone hurt me because they took advantage of my kindness. And he said the same thing. So I held back on being there for people and giving to people when I was younger too. And it wasn't until maybe about a year and a half ago that I realized I was doing that, and I stopped. Thank goodness. But yeah, I had to work through a lot of stuff.
Once you realize it, right?
One thing can just set you back so far.
Mhm.
And you don't even realize it.
Mhm.
I don't know how it could be a bad thing to wear your heart on your sleeve.
It's not.
Like, it's not.
I love your sensitive self.
Me too. Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to read this one more time and let's see if we have anything else come up for us. The law of gratitude. From the perspective of karma and the law of one, the more you give, the more you will receive. The more you assist others, the more you will assist yourself. The power of this law also works in your day-to-day life.
I feel like we should almost reread the law of karma and the law of one.
We can,
We can
do that. Let me just scroll up. The law of karma. Until you've resolved your karma and fulfilled your dharma, which are the deeds you must do, you will continue to reincarnate into sequential lifetime upon the earth. Neither God nor the lords of karma bestow suffering upon you during these lives. You and you alone decide what you most need to learn in your earthly sojourns. And each life experience, you seek out other souls, often with shared histories and always with karmic configurations matching your own needs. Whenever you act with intention, you create karma. Actions are considered to be thoughts, emotions, words, and deeds, and the motive, desire, and intent behind each. Disharmonious acts must be balanced in the future, in this life, or in a future lifetime to have soul growth. And then the law of one. Every soul, living and disincarnate, is connected at the level of the collective unconscious, deep within the higher self. We are all a part of a great energy Geishalt called God, and because we are part of God, we are God. It is the goal of the Geishalt to move the energy forward, creating more energy. So in living harmoniously, we each increase our vibrational rate and intensify the vibration of the entire Geishalt. When we are disharmonious, we decrease the vibration of the entire Geishalt because we are one. And because we are one, everything you think, say, and do affects every other soul. And just finally, the law of gratitude. From the perspective of karma and the law of one, the more you give, the more you will receive. The more you assist others, the more you will assist yourself. The power of this law also works in your day-to-day life.
So I think when you're giving, you're raising your vibration, right?
Yes. Dependent upon the intention.
I mean, if you're giving,
Because there are people whose jobs are to be a caregiver for someone,
Yeah.
and they are bitter about it.
yes.
They are not increasing their vibration. Well, I'm doing this because nobody else is going to do it.
Yeah.
Fine, here's your dinner, eat it. I don't care if you don't like it. I made it. There are people like that in the world. Blessedly, I'm not one of them.
I don't think I million money. So you want to give, give with the intention of truly help, wanting to
Of
help,
giving.
truly want to help and truly wanting to give. I mean, maybe from the universal love concept.
Yeah, because you recognize that within that person you're giving to is also you
Okay, so
through
I
the law of
have
oneness.
an example of this, because yesterday I was just blown away.
Yes.
My main job is to care for my daughter and my husband. I work from home. I love it. And I'm constantly giving to them to the point where my husband comes home from work and I don't have dinner ready for him. I get upset with myself because I'm like, you worked hard all day for us.
And I failed you.
Yeah, exactly. And yesterday I was taken very ill because I have an infected tooth that set me back. And I couldn't do anything yesterday. Today, fine. But that's, I chalk that up to, I got a lot given back to me yesterday. My parents, took my daughter the night before so I could be at the hospital, get the help I needed, to be at the dentist yesterday to get the medications I needed. And then I asked for help yesterday. I never do that. I asked for all my healer friends to send me some love, help me through it. And my daughter was a perfect angel for me. She laid with me all day yesterday, didn't complain when I was upset that all I could give her was a ham and cheese sandwich and salad for dinner. She says, Mom, I love you. I just want you to feel better. This is the best sandwich ever. And I woke up this morning feeling fantastic. Yesterday, I was ready to be buried, I felt like. So it's amazing how it does come back. So yeah, and I thanked everybody last night in the long.
And the most important part of that story is that you allowed yourself to be helped.
Yeah, for once.
That's a huge growth moment.
I
It's a
would
huge
never,
growth
ever
moment.
have done
In the
that.
past.
Yeah. In the past, I would never do that. And now it's
past.
amazing how different it is. It's really great words.
All right, my friends. Well, I think we've come to the end of our time for discussion. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say just before we wrap it up?
I'm grateful for the Hummingbird Assembly.
Amen. Thank you.
Truly grateful. Not just saying it.
Yes. Appreciate it. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you for joining us online. It was lovely to have you here. Join us next week where we'll continue our exploration into the universal laws.